everybody. There you go. I'm on now, I think. Hi, everybody. Kent Marts here from Explore Scientific. Welcome to Monday, and how do you know? Today we're going to be talking about little things and a few big things. We're going to start out with the Discovery 900X Biologic Microscope. This is for ages 8 and up. Comes in this great hard shell carry case, so you can keep this stuff together, or your kids can keep this stuff together. I didn't open it up and put everything back from the last show, so it's just going to fall out all over the place. Comes with a little poking prod, a microscope. Let's talk about the microscope here just a little bit. I'm going to get this thing snapped back in so it'll quit falling out on me. There we go. Actually, a little bit lower down. It's going to be stubborn, is it? Gonna be like kids are sometimes, stubborn. Comes with this really nice microscope. This is a 900 power biologic microscope. Let's talk about it and get out the prepared slides that come with it right there. And we'll talk about the prepared slides first, and then we'll talk about the other stuff that's in there. So this microscope is a biologic microscope, meaning it has prepared slides that light comes up from the bottom and goes into the microscope and comes out in a lens in front of your eye, allowing you to see microscopic details that you can't see with your unaided eye. So it has an LED illuminator that works well, or if you have really bright lights like we have in the studio, and Dr. Daniel Barth, who's been on with me a few, he likes to use the reflector because it gets brighter, more even light sometimes, which we're going to get from the studio lights. So it has a really nice ability to go to whatever angle you want. And here's how to use this microscope. So right now, I'm going to turn this. There we go. I just turned this filter wheel, and as you can see, I use the back of the box. As you can see, this filter wheel has colored filters in it. The colored filters allow you to see different details. They increase contrast in different colors, and so you can see more detail in some slides. It's got a red, yellow, blue, green filter, a wide open clear aperture, and then right here, it's got some smaller holes so you can cut down the amount of light going into the slide. Sometimes if you cut out some of the light, you can see details as well that you can't see with a real bright light. So I'm going to pull this slide out, and here's the package. It has 5 prepared slides and 7 unprepared slides, so you can make your own. So I've got the onion bulb epidermis. So this is skin from the onion skin. It grows very quickly, and it has lots of details in it. I'm simply going to lift up the little clips, slide the sample into the very center right there, make sure the light's on, and now I'm going to focus, and you've noticed, to put it in there, I've raised the focusing head all the way up. So the turret in the microscope gives me room to work. Now I'm going to focus all the way down. Why? Because this microscope comes to focus really quickly, and I'm looking in there, I can see the red, I'm going to boom, just like that, and it's in focus. This microscope focuses very, very quickly. As you can see, it's like a 32nd of a turn or 16th of a turn. Very, very small turn brings it into focus. Most people, like a camera, they think they're going to see it coming to go out. Well, it's a microscope, so the details are much smaller. The prepared slides also are apple, a sample of pollen, broadleaf bean, and a hydrilla verticillate leaf, in other words, leaf of a water plant, and then has prepared slides that you can, or unprepared slides that you can make as well. So let's talk about what else is in the case real quick. In the case comes a hatchery, and you say a hatchery? Yep, a hatchery, because there are brine shrimp eggs here, and you can follow the directions that come with the experiment kit that tells you how to use water to hatch out samples of these eggs, and then as they grow and change, you can make your own prepared slides and look at those yourself. There's also red and blue food grade dye, and that food grade dye is literally food grade dye. You could drink it and turn your tongue blue or red if you want to, with no outcome. It's food grade dye. Also has some sea salt crystals. I think it's sea salt. What does it say on it? Yes, sea salt that you can reconstitute and grow your own salt crystals. Always fun to watch that magic happen and then look at them under a microscope. Has a pair of tweezers, a little bug keeper unit, a couple of vials, a beaker, some a very dull, you can't call it a scalpel because, but you can, I mean, you'd have to work hard to cause any trouble there. And a little metallic pointer where you can poke things and manipulate things. It also has a tool right here that allows you to make your own samples. The directions talk about how to do that. So you could literally encase things in wax and then use this cutter to cut off very thin samples of that and make your own slides as well. So this is the Discovery 900X microscope. What'd you say, Paul?
The video's playing.
Ah, the video is playing. There we go.
There's some that are orange and some that are blue.
I don't have a monitor up.
It's supposed to be up. It's the same model. That's the Explorer 1, that's why. That's the Discovery. I see. What are you doing?
Oh, we're up. I didn't know the video quit running. Well, I'd look down to look at the box and make sure I had it the right side up, because on the back side it's upside down. We're looking at the CF 400 SP. This is a 400 millimeter. What does it say it is? I'll show you right here. It comes with 2 eyepieces right here. And notice that our box does not boast 600 or 1,000 magnification. That's because if you see a telescope with a box like that on it, they are misleading you in what the telescope can do. We don't do that. This telescope has a 70 millimeter aperture. It's for ages 10 and up. As you can see, it comes with a red dot finder, 2 eyepieces, and a smartphone adapter, as well as the telescope, a diagonal, and a tripod for it. I'll show you the telescope. I'm going to sort of hold it up right here because it gets too tall for the studio. We sell a lot of these as great beginner telescope. It has a 45-degree angle diagonal right here. Am I on? Yes, I am. Okay. A 45-degree diagonal, red dot finder, a dust cap to keep the front element from getting dirty and dusty when it's in storage. It's a simple left-right, up-down tripod, very easy to use, and is a very good telescope. I have a friend who has a big 8-inch Newtonian that bought one of these that came back with a big scratch on it or something, and or got damaged. I think it was damaged in the warehouse, and we sold it to him, and he uses it as a guide scope. So he put a astronomy camera on it and uses it to guide his telescope so he can make really good astro photographs. A very cool process. So it's 11:48. We'll talk about some other, we'll finish talking about this as well. Comes with 2 eyepieces right here. They simply insert into the diagonal right here. This is an Explorer 1 telescope, and this has a Kellner 20, and I believe it's a Kellner 10 eyepiece. Kellner describes the way the lenses in the eyepiece are put together. And these are 1.25 inch eyepieces. These are standard 1.25 inch eyepieces right here. And it goes in there. Simply focus by turning the focus knob until you get your object in focus. Now, we want to caution you, it says in multiple locations, never look at the sun with a telescope because it's going to put your eye out. And we don't want that to happen to your eye because you only get one Mark 1R, right, and one Mark 1L eyeball. You can't replace them, so be careful. Never look at the sun. Always use supervision when you're dealing with your children and make sure they're not going to look at the sun. However, you know, this telescope can be transformed into a solar safe telescope simply, set this off over here, by use of a sun catcher solar filter. These work real easy. And this is a big one right here that we've got. But we make these in lots of sizes. And for the telescope I just showed you, the sun is going to look fantastic if you buy one that says it's for a 70 to 80 millimeter telescope, and you can custom make it to fit your telescope. David Samard says, hello, Kent and Paul. Hello, David. Nice to see you with us. George S. Poston, kids miss out if they don't play with these toys. I had a perfect microscope in a wooden carry case, which I have a kid. Great fun. Absolutely. Kids need to learn to play with science toys, astronomy toys, all sorts of toys. You know, devices offer lots of educational opportunities, but there's nothing like learning with your hands. And, you know, sometimes lessons can be a wee bit painful. I never put my eye out, thank goodness. But I did burn my hand once with a magnifying glass because I wanted to see how hot it would get on my hand, and I found out. I won't do that again. So sun catcher comes, it's a cardboard frame, comes put together with our solar safe filter right here material from Thousand Oaks, and it simply comes with 4 triangle pieces of hard foam just like this and 2-sided tape. You put the 2-sided tape on, you stick the piece in, you stick this piece in here, and you see how this piece has been cut out, right? This piece is being cut out to fit a telescope with a big diameter. So I would do it this way. I would take the telescope off the tripod, and I can just do this right here real quick and show you how this works. Take the dust cap off, and literally, I'm just going to, and the one you get is going to be much smaller, but here, if I wanted to use this one, I would just press, get it centered up, and press down and make a little mark right there with a knife, right? And then cut this off inside that, because you want that solar filter to really pinch down. This foam, you don't want to just be able to slip it on, right? This is not a slip on and off. You want to put it on, because if you don't put it on, it's going to get blown off or knocked off, and then very bad things begin to happen if somebody's looking through the telescope or don't notice, and you're going to start messing up the inside of your telescope, or you're going to mess up your eye because you're looking through it when the solar safe filter came off. Real simple, inexpensive way to use any telescope and turn it into a solar telescope. With this filter, you can see sunspots and some surface detail on the visible surface of the sun. It's really awesome. We're going into a solar maximum, which means for the next 3 years, we're going to have more and more sunspots. They're going to get bigger and more prominent. And at some point, we're going to reach what's called solar maximum. And then slowly the sunspot count's going to drop down and drop down and drop down more and more until we get to a period of solar minimum. And that cycle from solar maximum to solar minimum from one node to the other is an 11-year cycle. So we're in the uphill side of going up to solar maximum, then back down to solar minimum again. All right, so we're going to drop off here, and we're going to go to the Amazon Live stream here at 2 o'clock Central Time. Join us over there if you will. We're going to be talking about some other stuff as well. For Explore Scientific, I am Kent Marts. Thank you for joining us here on our social media live stream. We'll see you over on Amazon Live here in just a couple minutes. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.